looking at what is happening in Nigeria, vis-a-vis protests in support of Hezbollah, Islamic communities, it didn't start today. I think it's that sentimental attachment that has to do with is my brother by religion. I said it somehow briefly when I cited the issue of Deborah. There are times we should allow God fight his fights because God has the capacity to fight more than we think we are doing for God. So to that extent, I think I use the opportunity to advise Nigerians, whether Muslims, whether Christians, that peace is what they should seek, rather than trying to escalate what is happening in the Middle East. Because however I look at it, just like you said, if Christians were to go on streets to protest in favor of or in support or in solidarity of Israel, it might lead to clash that may end up resulting in wanton destruction of lives and property, which the government may be difficult to handle, which may be difficult for government to handle. And take note of this: when the Muslim protests in favor of whether Hezbollah, whether Hamas, whether any Muslim community, whether Iran, it is difficult for Nigerian government to step in because it already have religious coloration. The same way they quickly suppress protesters who are protesting for bad governance, against bad governance, they will not use that effrontery to confront people who are protesting for religious
we shouldn't be so, right? I mean,
because of the nature of Nigeria.
So you feel if they step in to
suppress, it will even escalate. Because the protesters will feel that the government is against their religion. They will twist it.
So the Nigerian people
are more have to be careful.
So the Nigerian people are more particular about religion over good governance.
It's unfortunate, and unfortunately, people who even want to fight for God, they may end up not knowing God. So that is a lesson for another day. That is a discussion for another day. But the issue is we need peace.
No, you talked about the spirituality. I want you to quickly touch on it, maybe like 3-4 minutes, the importance of Jerusalem in this world. Why you think Jerusalem is a sacred land? Let us, for our viewers, for those who might not know, because this fight for Jerusalem has been up for over 500 years, even during the time of the Ottoman Empire, even during the time of the Constantinople, the Romans. Jerusalem has always been a topic of discussion. Okay, even in our own religion, Orunmila. I think what is, because sometimes I think these things are just fiction.
No, it's not fiction. Since we insist, I'm a believer of the Bible. The Bible is 100% the word of God. You may say there are some places where individuals spoke, but if you are somebody who read the Bible, I'll give you an answer before I start. Go and check where Psalm 110, where the Bible says, "The Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool." It was the psalmist that was saying it, David. But Jesus Christ cited it when he wanted to convince the people, prove to the people that he existed long ago. Go and check Deuteronomy 8:3. When Moses said, God fed you with manna in the wilderness, so that you know that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. When Jesus Christ was tempted, ordinarily one would have felt that yes, this is the word of Moses. But when Jesus Christ was tempted, he lifted it. Is it not written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God? Having said that, it is equally written, and I saw a new earth coming out of heaven, like a bride waiting for the groom, already prepared by God. And that is the new Jerusalem. That is the new kingdom of God that is to come. That is the eternity that we are waiting for. That will encompass whether the Gentiles, whether the Jew, as long as you have the mark of God on you, you will be a participant in that kingdom, where God will take away sorrow, take away every suffering. Sun will not scorch anyone. Where God will have sent the evildoers to his left hand side. So you see why it's significant to Christianity, because it is the kingdom of God that is to come. I mean, that name is significant. So God himself has made abundantly clear that this is my people. I'm talking about Israel. That notwithstanding, that grace has been extended to the Gentiles, which encompass all of us. So the reason they may be contending with it, with Israel, is perhaps because they have seen that it's a glorious place.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is the reason why that conflict is never ended. Because, in fact, I think America is also interested. We can see that Donald Trump moved the capital of Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
So he moved their embassy,
Yes,
American embassy
yes.
from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
But I think the capital of Israel is where now?
No, it's in Tel Aviv. What America did under Donald Trump is to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. What we have currently is a fraud. Because it's, the first section of the constitution say, we the people of Nigeria, the preamble of the constitution tells you that we the people of Nigeria came together. And there is no point in time where the people of Nigeria came together to adopt that constitution. So it's a fraud. So how then you tell somebody that he should not talk of secession under that circumstance? For me, the government is only postponing the evil day by suppressing those who seek to secede from the country. If you want to solve the problem, address it from the ideological point of view. Those concerns that people are raising, address it. Otherwise, we keep seeing a recurrence of people agitating.
Good morning,
Nigeria,
Mr.
the way it is, if you look at the south, is predominant Christians. If you go to the northern part of the country, you have a good number of them who are Muslim. I think that best explain the reason you see that division. You see Southerners, especially from the Christian community, Christian extraction, backing Israel. You see people from the north backing Iran, backing Hamas, and all that. I think it's not unexpected because it's not just restricted to Nigeria. It is the same thing anywhere you have Muslim community, you have Christian community. That determines where their perception lies. So I don't think it's a Nigerian thing. I think it's ideology, like he said, but it's not restricted to Nigeria. So you cannot beat a child and ask a child not to cry. From what we are seeing, what the government is doing currently is like beating a child and asking the child not to cry, to hold back his cry. And I think that may get to a point where the child cannot continue holding back the tears, and if the child decides to burst out in anger, I don't think the government can contain it. Because it is quite unfortunate that the security agencies were going from street to street in Abuja yesterday, searching for protesters to arrest. As if protest is as if to protest is criminal. Whereas you have the likes of Toji Bello, wreaking havoc, taking territory, holding territory, and others. You have the killer henchmen, you have all the non-state actors. These police are being paid with taxpayers' money, roaming around the city of Abuja, searching for protesters to arrest. We need to ask, are we in democracy? Of course, I'm surprised that the Tinubu that led Radeco, that advocated for democracy, that this will be happening under his watch. Because he cannot feign ignorance. Of course, he's the commander and he's the president and the commander of the armed forces. The buck rests with him. He cannot feign ignorance of what the police are doing in the streets. Nobody is saying people should go about wanton destruction of lives and property. Nobody is saying the protest should be violent. But how can you, police officers that have the mandate to protect lives and property, are the one hunting for protesters to arrest? Of course, Mr. Lee, if I tell you I'm happy and deceive myself.
Mr. Matthew, it seems you did not, you didn't hear what happened in Port Harcourt, because in Port Harcourt, I think that was even more.
They used thugs.
Yes, they beat up protesters.
Yes.
They were bleeding from their nose.
I'm not unaware.
Because they were
It's
demanding
condemnable I condemn it in its strongest possible term.
And this
So
is
what
the
I'm saying
Fulani
is,
that some people have been defending.
it's not unfortunate. I think what happened at the state level is because, you know, the government at the center have a way of giving out money to the state governors, perhaps to manage the hardship that people are passing through. But the problem is that it doesn't trickle down to the people. It doesn't even get to the recipients who perhaps need it. We are talking about the vulnerable, people who may be living below the poverty line. Of course, that would have been the target of government when you give out such money. But the unfortunate thing is that it don't get to them. And when it don't get to them, people are complaining. You are seeing government coming with a repressive tendency, bringing all further might on protesters, coming out, rolling out drums as if you want to fight war. The likes of Togi Bello is there, working freely, government unchallenged. The other time, there was a video where though the military denied that he didn't see the military vehicle, but he bought one. And by now, one would have expected that government will come in full force. The full wrath of the federal government might would have been on him. So for me, I must tell you, I'm not happy with this situation.
Well, Mr. Matthew, we don't know what to believe about this government that seems to be running on propaganda. Because a few days ago, we saw Bolo 3G probably seeking for negotiation with the federal government. But that could be a propaganda. Yesterday, so many backlash and so many, people have called the president a liar for his speech. He said that the Nigerian government has, by this time, paid all its ways and means, which has been fact-checked to be false. Also, the president said he's now paying 77,000 naira to the NYC coppers, and just recently, some coppers were posting online their payment receipt, which was still the 33,000 naira. But Mr. Matthew, it seems this government is not stopping from governing us based on propaganda, and it seems the Nigerian people are okay by it. What's your reaction?
To be quite honest with you, I no longer believe this government. Because this is not the first time we'll be seeing broken promise. Ab initio, they made us understand that they were going to give out money to the vulnerable, to cushion the effect of hardship of government policies on them. They're talking about the 50,000 they promised to give to a good number of nano business owners. They're talking about the 1,500,000 as the case may be, they promised to give to small and medium scale enterprises. We're talking about a billion naira they promised to give to about central companies to galvanize economic activities as a way of improving our GDP and bringing more people to employable ventures. We are talking about rolling out vehicles that run on CNG. So the government have made all the promises and they are afraid to fulfill it. And they are seeing their failure of fulfilling it cause the consequence of it. And people want to protest, you are suppressing them. When they promise or when they say you want to give pay NYC corps members 70,000, I don't think I have any cause to believe him, because except he's beginning to redeem his image by meeting up with all his promises, then going forward I can look at whether to believe them. For me, I don't think the president or the presidency or this government have done anything to make me start believing them.
Lastly, before I let you go, it seems the Biafran ideology is why the Igbos are so united, and there's this so much concerted effort to resist the incursions of the Fulanis in their land. I mean, we saw what happened over the weekend where a university was razed down by some army.
About Imo State.
Yes, the Imo State. That cohesion, we don't see it amongst the Nigerian spirit. Because Nigeria lacks ideology.
Let me tell you that the Biafra of a thing is an ideology. Just like Evoloshenka would say it oftentimes, that you can only win an ideology from a ideological point of view. And unfortunately, Nigerian states have refused to fight it from that ideological point of view. However I look at it, if I am from Abo, for instance, I rise up tomorrow and say, we want to succeed because we are no longer interested in Nigeria entity. I don't think I've committed any crime known to law, whether locally or internationally. Except I go about it violently, wanton destruction of lands and property. That is where you can find me wanting. As long as I'm doing it within the base of the law, I don't think anybody can hold me to account for wrongdoing. Having said that, it doesn't matter anybody's opinion. You may not like the face of the Southeasterners or the Igbos. They have right to say we are no longer interested in this entity called Nigeria. And apart from that, God by providence never created Nigeria to be one entity.
Are you sure about that?
The reason is not far-fetched. Go look at providence, look at culture, look at people's language, look at people's.
But again, Nigeria is not the first country to have ethnic diversity. Or is it a situation of having bad leaders?
The issue is this: you may decide to come together even if you have different backgrounds in terms of ethnicity, language, religion, but it must not be through coercion. It must not be through imposition of constitution on the people. The ground that we have currently, which is the constitution, was imposed on Nigerians by the military, and you want to force everybody to abide by it. Look at the restriction that is going on in Kano. For northern senators to be saying they cannot settle for any other thing apart from Nigeria, and they know that the constitution has been so skewed against the south, so that before you tinker with any section of the constitution, you must get the express approval of the north because they have the number. And who arrogated the number to them? The same people who seize power by force and impose the constitution on the people. So how do you now continue under that circumstance? If we must continue as a people to live together as a people, we must have a people's-oriented constitution. We must have something like a constitutional conference, something like constituent,
something like the
assembly that is not political. That people will naturally come from different areas, every interest must be represented. So when you come to compromise at that level, you would have addressed every challenge Nigeria is facing. What we have currently is a fraud. Because the first section of the constitution says, we the people of Nigeria, the preamble of the constitution tells you that we the people of Nigeria came together. And there is no point in time where the people of Nigeria came together to adopt that constitution. So it's a fraud.
All the plans they have for Igbo man is destructive plans. I don't know the reason why federal government should be relocating people whose land mass is 10 times the states of the southeast. The land mass of Niger State, the land mass of only southern Kaduna is bigger than the whole 5 eastern states. So tell me, we, the Igbos that don't have enough land, why coming to share the little one that God has given us? See, let me tell you, the place was on fire yesterday, as you can see. I like it. National Open University of Nigeria now was on fire because of what? Unknown circumstances, unknown condition. Nobody could have at least unraveled the mystery behind the inferno yesterday that engulfed National Open University, where the so-called, proposed ID camp relocation from north, where they should settle. That enclosure is on fire because that suggestion is at least from our, let me say, enemies. They want Fulani to infiltrate Igbo man the more. If the Fulani started settlement in that now, from there it will extend from Mbano to Mbise, Mbise to Ngopala to the men of water town. Fulani will do what? Seize the whole Imo state. And that is one thing that I heard about purpose of the man.
But we have Fulanis in Igbo land as we speak.
No, there are farmers. There are Fulani that are rearing their cattle in the bush. I think those ones are not destructive. Those ones. So let me tell you, it is purpose of the man's politics. See, anything that negates Igbo man is what purpose of the man wants. If not that I make it head won an election and he seized it. No Igbo man actually know that Hope Uzodinma is not from an Igbo father. Hope Uzodinma is from Fulani father. These are the enemies of the Igbos we have.
What do you mean?
Fulani his father is not Fulani. See, I have many of them. You see Rocha Sokorocha?
Do you mean that
his father is not?
They lived in the north, but they are Igbo?
They are bastard Igbos. That's what I mean. Number one is Ojos Okalo. Ojos Okalo can never do anything that benefits Igbo man. Listen, Rocha Sokorocha, after hijacking power Ohakim. The second tenure, he turned tiger. He turned to tiger. Turned his back on the Imolites, grabbing their lands, demolishing markets. He had gone too far to destroy the Igbos during his regime. I mean his second coming. So these people, I term bastards of the Igbos. Their fathers, if you trace their paternity, is zero, nothing that concern Igbo about their paternity. They are from Fulani's fathers. Their mother were impregnated by the Fulanis. These politicians, all Joseph Carlo, I repeat, Hope Uzodimma.
Is this an allegation or a fact?
Okay, I'm telling you the fact because look at Hope now. Everybody knows that each and every government that comes and goes, right from the first coming of Buhari when he was military head of state, Hope was a missionary. To the then military head of state administration under Buhari, Hope. Then this man came, stage coup again, Babangida. Hope become his what? Allies. He become an ally to Babangida. Hope Uzodimma, you see, was a government agent, federal government agent right from day one, from 1986, 85, 84, 85, 86, and so on and so forth. He was with federal since day one until they used him during Imo State election that Emeka Ihedioha had won. It was Abba Kyari that do what? Deny that gentleman his mandate given to him by the Imolites and give the mandate to Uzodimma. Uzodimma that come forth, mounted on the third person, second person, and on the first person. That is not an election. It was a selection, and it was the Fulani, his Fulani masters, that gave that wrong, illegitimate mandate to Hope Uzodimma today. And right from the one Hope assumed office in Imo State, people were dying. It was bloody clash between Imo State government agents and the main Imo villages for 4 years. Then on second coming, nobody, I mean virtually nobody in Imo State voted Hope Uzodimma. Still, Hope Uzodimma, upon all the discrepancies, anomalies going on in the first regime, won the whole 27 local government. Have you had that kind of result before? To the level that they beat labor agents, beat them live. We watch it on camera now because he had the federal might with him. See, let me tell you, the occupation of National Open University by internally displaced people from the north is all that Hope needed, because Hope wants us to live among his kinsmen Fulani. He wants to integrate Igbos and the Fulani so that we should be one. No Igbo man, 100% Igbo blood, could allow what Hope Uzodimma is doing in Imo State. Okay, just like today, you are telling me that the Jews and the Palestinians and Iran are going to reintegrate themselves. It is impossible. It is better you lead a horse through an eye of a needle than to do that one. I can tell you that they will tell you, say yes, they will call horse, eye of a needle, or you enter. Instead of Israel and the Arab, the Jews and Arab to agree as one. No. Until Jesus Christ comes. It is not possible. That is how it is for Igbo man to become a Muslim or reintegrate themselves, live as one with Fulani pigs in the north. It is not possible. They can never, ever live with Fulani. Any Igbo man that is intermarrying with Hausa is doing it on a purpose. I'm not saying that Hausa doesn't marry Igbo, that Igbo doesn't marry Hausa. They are doing it for a purpose. And especially, we check the Hausa woman, he must be a Christian. Check the Hausa man, he must be a Christian. John Madaki married in Imo State. John Madaki, a former military administrator or governor. He married Victoria, married a boy woman. And if you look at Yakubu Gowon, he's a Christian. Gowon is not a Muslim. He's from Jos. So you see my point? I told you, check them well, they should be Christians. Okay? Anything Islam negate what the religion of my father Abraham is before it is translated into Christianity. Judaism is Zionism. It has nothing to do with Islam. That's why we always reject any reintegration, mixing up, unification with any unity with Fulani praise, Igbo man detest it. It negates what Igbo man represents.
But the North now have now declared a war. That how is it possible in a country that is one that they will do everything to establish that IDB camp?
In the
Because
south
the federal
Nigeria.
government, yes, because the federal government has the impetus to do that as they like.
Oh, that's the Yoruba man for you now. Tinubu should relocate ID camp to Lagos or his state in Ochun State. Tinubu is from Ochun State. He should locate their ID camp. Internally displaced.
And the reason why they are doing that is because
into
the state
Ochun
they are
State.
coming from is closer to
Oga, it is a lie. Oga, Ochun State is closer to North. Imo State that is always closer to Atlantic Ocean. Ochun State is here now. Look at North. Oga, it is a lie. Tinubu should relocate that ID camp to Ochun State. He is from a state in the southwest. Oga, all the bad belly politics Tinubu is playing here, we know. I'm an Igbo man. I know the whole bad belly politics. He should locate that camp to Ochun State. He's locating it to Imo State.
From Taraba to Osun.
Taraba to Osun and the Osun to Imo State. Don't you know the distance? Taraba is closer to Osun now. This is Osun State here. What are you saying?
But is this not a show of racism?
I'm telling you that racism is it. True. It should relocate the ID camp to his state. What are you saying? It is too open that he's playing by the belly politics against Igbo man.
But some Northerners are also saying when the Igbos were in this form of incidents, the Gabonese collected them, gave them refuge. Why are they not extending the same gesture?
How did you know?
To their fellow Northern
How did you
Nigerians?
know why Gabon do that? Ojuku's father's business was all over West African region. I named them: Cotonou, Togo, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. Ekene was driving for Ojuku's father from Cameroon to Gabon, Gabon to Panya, Equatorial Guinea. That was where the rich man had his business basis. So when his son was fighting war of Nigerian Biafra civil war with his money, he was late. But these states, Francophone, French states, French countries, remember the Ojuku for the good thing that Louis Odumego Ojuku, his father, Linus, did for them. That's why Ojuku, after absconding from Gabon, he headed to Ivory Coast, that's Cote d'Ivoire. It's a business relationship. And we the Igbos, we are Negro. We are Negro like the Gabonese. We are Negro like the Ivorians. We are Negro like the Togolese. We are Negroes. We have no blood, Arab blood in us. We are the black Jews. So interacting or relating with Gabon is our own business. It has nothing to do with Nigerian business. Oga, Tinubu is playing bad belly politics. Tinubu should now relocate ID camp from Taraba to Ochun State. Ochobo there. Leave Igbo land. We don't want it.
Well, some Igbo people have said that over their dead body, that this will never happen because they probably Tinubu wants to use this to cut away the gas resources in Imo State. How true can this be?
Okay, what are you saying again? Not only the whole Igbo. Igbos in the diaspora, I don't mean Igbos that are within Nigeria. Igbos in the diaspora are kicking against it, and it has come to stay. I don't know what I understand. It has come to stay. Nobody's going to agree with that. You understand me? Nobody's going to agree with that. That idea, that policy is against Igbo man. When we won election, they did not give us. Now they want to camp houses. Now they know Igbos, we are one in Nigeria. Okay, we don't believe. Let me tell you, Igbos in diaspora are kicking against it. And you can see, fire has engulfed the so-called ID camp. Fire. Who knows what caused the fire? Okay, we are not even in a haste.
When you say Igbos in diaspora, you mean Simon Ekpa?
Okay, I don't mean, only Simon Ekpa is not the Igbos in diaspora. You have millions of Igbos in abroad. Simon Ekpa is not the only Igbo man that is making wave in abroad. Okay, if I give you a number of Igbo from my family that lives in London, in Japan, you're surprised. We are diaspora people. We are the largest travel tribe in Africa, if not the whole world. Okay, Igbo is all over the world, and they are not happy with that. So let them do them now. Nobody is fighting who, but fire that has started there. Who can say this is the circumstances from which the fire was ignited? No, but it was a monstrous fire.
Before I let you go, Mr. Raphael, Simon Ekpa has said that for now, any form of IDP camp will not be erected in the Biafran land.
That is true.
Until they regain their sovereignty. But I want to ask you, do you think even after Biafra comes, if it eventually comes, do you think IDP camps will still be allowed?
Okay, we're not like ID camp when we are not even in Biafra now. We are in a very bad country called Nigeria. Hunger is killing. Everybody is suffering from hardship, economic hardship, hunger, bad government. And today we are talking about ID camp in Imo State. Okay, before Biafra comes, ID camp will be on the run. We don't allow it. Tinubu should relocate it to Osun State. Again, it's not only Samodepa that is fighting this fight. Biafra emancipation is for all Igbo man. Nobody should be appointing accusing finger at Samodepa, at Nnamdi Kanu, at Onyinyechi, Nnamdi Kanu's wife, at Uche, my father, as Rafael Wazulike, at Oga. It is fight of the Holy Ghost. Any Igbo man that you see that is moving his own, going his own business, it is paining him in his heart that Biafra is not yet here. So it's not only Samodepa, it's not only Nan, it's for every Igbos. That ID camp should not be there. Tinubu should relocate it to Osun State. We don't accept any bad belly politics anymore in Igbo land. Anybody that wants to play bad belly politics should take it to his town and his state. Was it not just last month they accused Igbo of orchestrating protests across the country? I wonder how Chowore come and did protest yesterday, day before yesterday. This one, can you say is Igbo man again? All this about the has come to say, and we, the Igbos, if you look at our body language, we have mastered politics of Badibele. Any issue that is killing, very dangerous and destructive, is to be in the southeastern Nigeria. Because we are under the captors, our enemies that felt that they are our captors. We are no longer captive. When December comes and other times they have given for Biafra to live, that is when we know who is a captive, who is a slave in Nigeria.
Thank you very much for that brilliant submission, Mr. Ralph, as usual. Now the Northerners are saying that whether by fire by force, they will move into Southeast. Why is the Southeast a target? Why are they insisting on having an IDP camp in Imo State, despite having a vast land in the northern part of Nigeria?
Good.
What's your reaction?
That's a very, very good question. Now, in the East, there is no seaport. The Eastern people, they cannot become president, quote unquote. The Eastern people, they have the highest amount. But what I mean, reportedly, they have the highest amount of roadblocks in Nigeria. The Eastern, they don't have a world-class standard airport. But the only development that can be done to the East is to bring IDP. If I'm from the East, I will not be happy. You must put yourself in the shoe of others, understand? So our place is good for development. You cannot be the president, you cannot lead the nation, but our place is only good to bring IDPs. So you are not fools. Yes, that's I don't know, but that will or should be their thinking. I will go. You are not fools. I don't think that they are fools. So they can't be fools. They can't be fools because you are in a place where things are not working. You complain that the country is not going the way it should go. And then the good thing that you should do is to bring IDP to their zone. I know to me it's a record development. It's a very sad development. And the youth, I mean the people they have the right to kick, but I mean in a legitimate way. You understand? In a proper way. They have the right to kick. They have the right to say no. That we don't want to see, how do I put it, something like insecure, because according to what we read, that even the South, they have their own challenges. Some people are hiding under the guise of freedom fighters to perpetrate crimes and evils in the Southeast. That you now joining IDPs to them from the North. That don't yes, according to what we read, even according to what is in state capital, not have 19 states. Sometimes they even put Abuja join. So there's not enough space for the Igbos, for the IDP camp to be situated in the north. We're not taking that one to the east.
But Mr. Riwa, I thought they said that the Southeast is a dot in the nation. And I felt, I mean, there's relative peace in Kano State, in Jigawa State. Why are they targeting? Is there a sinister agenda behind it?
There may be. That's maybe after the people of the south are they are now what they may be. We don't know. But these people they are not. Culturally you are different. In religion you are different. They're not bringing them to even do what? We'll be feeding them. You understand? Because many people, you see, Nigerian many people are very afraid. They don't know tomorrow because of how the country is. So, for example, we saw Ruga settlement and everything. Ruga settlement, many people have to say no to it. You understand? So, you said, what is a dot in the nation? You're now bringing people. You are bringing people to IDPs to come make your IDPs stay in your own zone. Make them to stay in your in your region. You cannot bring IDPs. Since you cannot bring development, you cannot bring projects to our place. Then why are you bringing IDPs? Take your IDPs where they are supposed to be. Yes, Nigeria is one, but the IDPs they will be more familiar to their own territory, to the people that speak their own language. Everybody have their challenges. If you cannot take the Igbo people too, that may be facing some challenges of insecurity. Okay, for example, in Delta, after some people allegedly killed some top military people, and like I always say, I respect the Nigerian military. Now we saw how there was a retaliation from the military, and many people lost their life, many people lost in their belongings and everything. Why did they take those people to the north? They did it. You understand? So nobody should say you want to bring somebody from the north to the east. If they brought somebody from the north to Abeokuta, my place, I would have complained that how would they be bringing people from one region to another region where by their lands there is space for people in that same region that they are being challenged. So let them use Kano, even Abuja for example, let them use Jigawa, let them use Sokoto. They have many people that they can use. So I don't know why they want to go to the east. And I understand why some people they may be afraid of saying once there's challenges everywhere, so they may be afraid that this may be plantings of evil. This may be a kind of a way of destabilizing or bringing, how do I put it, bad blood between the host people of the land and the foreigners or non-indigenous, which are the IDP. So I understand legal grounds. I understand why they don't want the youth, why they don't want to see such a development. You call them a dot, you saw them, you try to marginalize them and everything. So I understand why.
The Igbo youth, since the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, have been shouting that the marginalization has even doubled.
Yeah.
Like in the education loan fund, the Igbos have received the minimum. You know, despite that the Igbos are the ones actually leading education, but apparently they have received the list of loan funds, and also they've said that there's no or little federal government presence in their territory. You know, this call for Biafra, is it not a justification? Because if the federal government will continue this quantum show of negligence, or even when they want to give them something, they are giving them the bad air.
Yes.
Don't you think this is a justified cause at the end of the day for them?
Put yourself in another man's shoe. I always tell everybody. If the way the Igbos have been treated in Nigeria, the Yorubas have been treated like that, what will Yoruba people say?
I can't imagine like we have an IDP camp for the displaced Fulanis in my own state, for instance, or your state, or even in Lagos State here.
I can't imagine IDP camp, I would say, what is the problem? Understand? So if the same thing that's been done to the Igbos, if it's been done to the Yorubas, like I always say my fellow Yoruba people, what will you say? If the same thing is being done to the Hausas, what do they say? Hausas are even complaining now that the Igbos marginalize them. Imagine, and I think like their zone have the vice president too. I imagine. So do what others. It is the golden rule of our Lord Jesus Christ. Do what to others, what them do unto you. So if you're Yoruba man, you cannot understand what the Igbos are facing or going to put yourself in their shoes. And yes, we have to go back to the civil war. Civil war has ended. Yakubu said no Victor Vanquish. So no Victor Vanquish should be seen in the real aspect of it. I give an example of Rwanda, Hutus and Tutsis. Before civil war, Rwanda is moving forward. Before civil war, they found a way to forgive themselves. And today, Rwanda is working. Let Nigeria forgive ourselves. Maybe we should just sit down. Maybe Bola Ahmed Tinubu can do it too. Because Tinubu is saying about youth conference. That one, I mean, like a kind of government that bring everybody together. Let us sit down and chart a new way. Like a sovereign national government, let us sit down and chart a new way. Okay, this is how we want to do it. So we can forgive ourselves. All this civil war, this thing, after many years. And we still countries are moving forward. Malaysia, Singapore, even Rwanda, even Egypt, Algeria. Like I always say, the world will not wait for Nigeria. Everybody's moving forward. South Africa did an election. Nigerian budget for election was higher than South Africa's own. South Africa's own was transparent. You saw everything. Nobody can ever say how to go to court. It was over transparent. But yeah, you are still doing. So the world will not wait for us. It is we that will decide that we want to go forward. We want, as a people, to make choices, to make even not a major, to make a choice that we want to go forward. That we want to see ourselves as one. Even within the university. Yes, I want to do a person. I'm a Yoruba man. My people will say it. I will do a person. He is an Igbo man from Anambra State. He's a Biafran. He is Aliu from Sokoto State. He's Arewa. But we are all Nigerians. Simply, everybody should be treated equally. They should not be. See, the problem is Igbos will only marginalize for the next 15 million years. Unless something changes. Or if it is me too, I will talk. It is not for yourself another issue. I will talk. Not even no IDP camp. See what happened. So our place only good for IDP camp. It's not good for development, it's not good for airports, it's not good for seaports.
The Igbo youths have said that they will defend their land with their blood and tears. They have said that it is over their dead body that one single room of IDP camp for Fulanis. I mean, what's your take?
No, kudos to them. I support them. I understand.
But don't you think this is a show of racism?
Okay, you know, like tribalism stuff.
Yeah.
I don't. You see, it comes. We don't trust ourselves enough in Nigeria. Yes, it can be like that, but like it's just 30%. There are 70%. Their fears are. Let me tell you, there are states in the north that you can take these people to. Why should it be Imo State? You know now, the people will think now. Why? What did that happen? You are here on non-government. You say the place is not develop everything, but that's the same place you are taking IDP to. Oga, so I'm not an Igbo person, but I'm just like maybe their own thinking. So let them find a way and take those same people to either the north, or like the people who say that you pass and outside their friend, let them take them to the west, or not in Abeokuta. So let them find a place to take them to. So I understand the Igbo youth, I understand their something, but they should. Anything they want to do should be within the ambit of the law. They should appeal to their governor or their rep member or senators that, Oga, please sir, we don't want this. Let us take people elsewhere. As in peacefully. That's what I want to see.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rilwan, for that objective analysis of this situation of ground. Thank you
so much.